Hello everyone, we are from Group 5. I am Regina and I'll be presenting part 1. A public class, which is product 1, has been created. 4 private variables with their data types have been created, which are name, quantity, price, and item number. The data type of name is string, quantity is integer, price is double, and item number is integer. Two constructors have been added. The first constructor, which is the default constructor, permits the user to set the fields to their default values. Before the constructor have been created, a command has been added to describe the aim of the constructor. The second constructor that is created is actually the parameter constructor, which is being overburdened. The purpose of overloading the default constructor is to set the values from the driver class. Main class have been created called the product tester. Two products, which are myObject and myObject2, have been created using the default constructor. The remaining 4 products, which are myObject3, myObject4, myObject5, and myObject6, have been created. They will supply values for the arguments, which complements the parameters of the constructor. These are the outputs of part 1. When you run it in Eclipse, it shows the information of the products called Ricoh, Lexmark, Nespresso, LG, Dell, and Netgear. Information such as the name of the products, quantity, price, and item number. In this output, it shows the stock value of the products, but this is an error because it was supposed to be added in part 2.
Hi everyone, my name is Ishmam and I'll be presenting part 2 as an error was done in part 1 where product active which has a boolean data type was added in the second constructor because it was supposed to be in part 2. This is added mainly to show if the product is active or discontinued. Discontinued means the remaining stock of the product will be the last of it. No more orders could be done. A scanner was added after the variables. Local variables such as temp name, temp number, temp quantity, and temp price were created. This is where system out print line is added into the codes for each product so that user can insert the values of the product. And in next line parentheses such as in next integer parentheses, in next double parentheses, in next boolean were added because previously some characters were buffering when inserting it. Hence, this allows the variables to be shorted and leave buffer empty. A ternary operator was added into the toString method to achieve the output stating each active or discontinued, which represents true or false respectively. Next, the setter from the driver class is called to set the active value to false for P6 object. A method is even created in the product class to calculate the product price that will be multiplied by the quantity of stock. Lastly, the toString method is uploaded to include the get inventory value method. These are the outputs of the part where user can insert the values of the product, and it would allow the user to know whether the products are active or discontinued. All the 5 products, which are Ricoh, Lexmark, Nespresso, LG, and Dell, are active product, while Netgear is a discontinued product, which means it will no longer be in stock and no more orders will be made for
My
Netgear.
name is Vaishnavi, and I'll be presenting a little bit about part 3 in our object-oriented programming assignment. This right here is the product class for my part 3. Firstly, in the product tester, a variable called max size was created for it to be able to store integers. After that, a prompt was inserted for users to input the amount of products they would like to add. In order for only a positive value to be entered by the user, a do-while loop was created so that the user will be re-prompted to enter a correct positive value. Next, a try block and a catch statement was added into the do-while loop, and the max size was assigned the value of -1 in order for the loop to fail, and only a correct value has to be assigned before it continues. In the catch statement, a line of code was inserted to display incorrect data type entered, and then it will clear the input buffer. An if statement was then created in the product tester class where system outprint will be no products required if the value of the max size equals to 0. An else statement was added to deal with any value other than 0 was added by the user. In the else statement, a loop was created so that it will repeat through the array from 0 to 1 less than the max size. Given the last input by the user is numeric, a statement was added to clear the input buffer. The code that was used to get the input from all the products was added into the array by applying the index value as the position and the constructor that uses 4 parameters. Lastly, for each loop was used to show the output of information for each product. Right here shows the output for part 3, where a user inputs the number of products they wish to add, which is 2, and is then followed by insertion of product name, quantity, price, and number. After the insertion of the data, the inserted product information will be displayed.
My name is Sabrina and I'm presenting part 4. So here you can see my product tester class. The codes in the main class were altered as a static method was created in the product tester class. The products array was only to be received as a parameter in this method. The codes that shows the arrays are copied into the display inventory method, and display code will be removed from the main method, so we could replace it with a method in order to call a display inventory method. Another static method was created in the product tester, but this time this method will be added to the end of the main method. This method will be named as add to inventory, and it will not give any value, so it will accept the product array and scanner as parameters. Codes in the main method will add values to the array, so these codes will be put into the add to inventory method. A method call was added in the main class to call the add to inventory. Another method was created in the product tester, which would help the getNum products to accept the scanner as parameter. All the code that allows the user to give out the maximum number of products have been moved to this method, and method call was added in the main to call this method. Return value was stored in the max size variable, so two things have to be declared, which will take place in the main method and also in the getNum product method. Two methods were created in the product1 class, where in one of it user can add in the number of stock units, in which it is named as add to inventory, and the other one is user can deduct the amount of unit in stock, which is the deduct from inventory. Both can accept a quantity, which is a parameter that allows a user to add or remove number from items. It is placed under the constructors. Then back to the product tester class, a menu system was created where it will show the users the display options and menu choice. The purpose of this menu system is to allow the user to view, alter, or cancel the product through a user interface. A method called getProductNumber is created to show the index value of the array and the product's name so that the user can select which one they would like to update. This could be done when using a for loop. In the main, a single local variable product choice was added and has a data type which is integer. The user is only allowed to insert value between 0 and 1, which is smaller than the length of the array. Another method called addInventory was created to add stock values to the product. Two local variables called product choice and update value were created where product choice don't have to be initialized and update value is the other way around. A method call was added to get product number, and result will be saved in the product choice variable. A message will be prompt that says, how many products do you want to add? The user are only allowed to insert values of 0 and above. The values have to be positive. The value will be updated in the add to inventory method. Another method called deduct inventory is created as well, but this time it is to deduct the stock values of the product. Some series of steps has to be followed just like the one in the add inventory. In this method, the value cannot be more than the current quantity of the stock. There will be a final menu option where the method is called a discontinue inventory, so it could execute the marked stock as discontinued. It requires a single local variable called product choice. A method call was created in the getProductNumber. setActive method will be used to insert the value of active to false for chosen products. A new method called executeMenuChoice is created, so it will bring all together. The code of this method will also be added under the main. A switch statement will be implemented, and each of it has to use an output statement. Main method is updated, so it would work according to the new operation. Here, deduct inventory, display inventory, and all the codes of system outprint. And then here, the output of part 4 starts. These are all the outputs of part 4, where after the product information has been entered, menu option is given where users have a choice to add stock and deduct stock. There is also an option to view the inventory after changes has been made by the user. If they wish not to add or deduct anything, they can choose the option to exit. In the figure shown, option 2 was chosen from the menu, and the product Nespresso was chosen to add 7 more stocks into the inventory. Here, 7, after adding 7 more stocks, it became 10, because at the beginning it was 3, and then from here we chose the option 2, that is add stock, and again the option 2, that is Nespresso, and then 7, that is the number of stocks we want to add, and then it became 10. That's all for me.
My name is Nita Vijaykumar, and I'll be presenting part 5 for this assignment. Sample data tables were created for DVD and CD, followed by a creation of a subclass of the product class called DVD using inheritance, where it has additional instant fields in order to store information such as duration of movie in minutes, the age rating, and the film studio the movie was released under. Next, a single constructor was used to accept values for every instance field. By using super, it calls the constructor in product 1 that possess the required parameters. Next, getters and setters were created for the DVD instance fields. The same process is used to create a subclass of product 1 called CD. To calculate the value of the inventory of a DVD, the method had to be overridden. It also added a 5% restocking fee to the value of the inventory. To define the output for DVD and CD objects, the toString method has to be overridden in the product 1 class in order for the information to be printed. Here, we have defined the output for the DVD class. The getter method was used for the values. The same process was conducted for the CD class. Product tester was altered by adding another add inventory method under the original and was relabeled as add CD to inventory. Additional variables which are non-permanent were added so it could be put in the instance fields that were added to the CD class. Prompts were updated where the messages would ask for the CD's name, artist name, and so on. The variable I is not acknowledged, so at the end of the method signature, I was added as a parameter. A CD object was created, and this was done by using polymorphism. Codes were upgraded so that we could know that CD is the object type. This can be done after the equals to new statement. Not only that, but parameters were upgraded as well. Same steps have to be created for the DVD object as well, and the messages in the prompts have to be in sequence. The codes in the add inventory method were upgraded where users can choose to add either a CD or a DVD. This can be done by taking off the local variables and putting in a single variable called stock choice. Users will be prompted to pick between CD or DVD, as this is done where they will be given a value for stock choice. If at all the user inserts either a value lower than 1 or more than 2, then a message will pop up saying only numbers 1 or 2 allowed. The users will have to insert a correct value, so till then they'll be re-prompted. Suitable condition was added after the while statement, so when a user wants a CD, he or she must insert 1, and if they want a DVD, they must insert 2. Users are forbidden to add more stocks to a terminated product line. The method add inventory was updated, so adding of stock to a terminated line can be put to a halt. These are the outputs of part 5, where it shows the information of the CD and DVD. For the DVD, it shows the name of it, how long the movie is, age rating, which studio has produced the movie, how many DVDs are in stock, and many more. On the other hand, in CD, it shows information such as the name of the CD, artist, amount of songs in an album, and so on. Prompt messages will be showing so users could add or deduct the stock. If the users do not want to add or deduct, they can choose the option called exit. If the users choose add stock, then the user is prompted to choose 1 for CD and 2 for DVD. Users will then have to insert the information accordingly. That's all for my part. Thank you. Now, we'll be showing you the user experience when using the program. We'll be showing two types of user experiences. So the first user experience would be to simply add any type of product. The user will see a prompt asking them to enter the number of products they would like to add and to enter 0 if they do not wish to add products. So I'll be adding 1 product today. And then they would be prompted to enter the details of the product they would like to add. So firstly, I'll be adding the item number, and then the item name, and then the item quantity, and the item price. The second type of user experience would be for a prompt to be showing a list of options the users can choose from. Choosing 1 would be to view the inventory, choosing 2 would add stock to the inventory, choosing 3 would deduct stock from the inventory, choosing 4 would discontinue a product, and choosing 5 would exit the program. I'll be choosing 1 to view the inventory. Now the user will be shown the inventory list and details such as name, quantity, price, item number, stock value, and product status. The user will then be shown the same prompt list, and now I'll be choosing 2 to add stock. The user is then shown 2 specific product types to choose from, which is 1 for CD and 2 for DVD. I'll be choosing 2 to add a DVD product. Now I'll be adding the DVD name, and then the film studio, and then the age rating, and then the length of the movie in minutes, and then the quantity of stock for this product, and then the price for the product, and then the item number. That would be all for a simple look into the user experience of the program. Thank you.